today I will be telling you what are the thoughts on pulling for 2.4 and 2.5. We got some solid units, like for a free-to-play, Yunli is pretty good. We got Huo Huo, we got Jiaoqiu, which may not be that good, but could be a possible pull. We have Sparkle, which is pretty good for hypercarry DPS. We have for 2.5, we got Lingsha and Feixiao are the main ones we gotta consider. Okay. So, for my opinion, this is meant for free-to-plays and low spenders, just so you know. Okay. The estimated pull income in version 2.4 will be around 85 pulls for free-to-plays. For the monthly pass, 109 pulls. For the Battle Pass as well, 117. Yunli is a counter DPS, basically like Clara Pro Max. She's a pretty solid DPS. She has a skill set where she heals and does 3% destruction damage. When she goes in her ultimate, she goes in her parry state. When attacked, counter does incredible damage. For the supplementary 4-star, she has Hanya, Yukong, and Lynx. For new players, I would say it's an 8 out of 10. For everybody else, it's a 2 out of 10. DPSs are very prone to power creep, so we don't know how good she will be. She could be good at Memory of Chaos and Pure Fiction, but I'm not sure if it's going to be as good as some characters. Jiaoqiu is not a healer, he is a .in debuffer. I didn't even know that people were confusing about this until later. She was built for Acheron. He has vulnerability multipliers. He has this talent, he has vulnerability multipliers and uses Ashen Rose when he uses the skill and deals it to 3 enemies. When he uses ultimate, he does a field dealing damage to all targets, and they receive damage vulnerability through Ashen Rose during enemy turn. Ashen Rose's vulnerability, is a vulnerability debuff, and burn, so it's good for .coms like Akron or Black Swan and Kafka. Supplementary 4-stars are Hook, Gunnaifen, and Arling, which aren't the best. Might not be great for .coms. He might not be great for .coms because trying to fulfill both debuffs and dot may leave him not doing as well at both. Toss might not make as much of a difference if you just use Payload. For non-.coms, no one is going to be using him really. Now, for Huo Huo. The GOAT of healing. Literally one of the best healers in this game by far. Until Lingsha arrives. In fact, Huo Huo will still be competing with her greatly. She is a great sustain if you don't have too limited sustains. She is, I think, the best cleanser. She just cleanses people. Oh my god. She has 20% regen with her ultimate and increases allies' attack by 40%. She does not need her own light cone, and she is usable with basically every single team. Her E1 is so amazing for being skill point positive and a 12% basically permanent speed buff. If you already have 2 sustains, however, and are surviving, then you should not pull for her. 20% energy regen shouldn't be why you're pulling, when instead you can get an Eidolon or their signature light cone. Sparkle, however, is a really solid character for heavy carry. DPSs. It might not be the best to get her since it seems like the meta may be changing currently. For now, however, if you want to run hypercarry DPS, you will most likely need her. However, other teams don't need her really. She is also the most skill point positive character in my opinion. She is good for Imbibitor right now, and she is good for E2 Acheron. So the summary is that Yunli is a good DPS, Huo Huo is a good sustain, and Sparkle is for hypercarry means, and for dot you should use Jiaoqiu. Yunli might be power crept later though, and Jiaoqiu is kind of dependent on his multipliers and mechanics, which may end up poorly when he attempts to do both. The first character of 2.5, however. Oh my god, this banger patch! Feixiao. She has a great design. I think she's a really good DPS and almost as good as Acheron, if not as good. She is also a wind type path, which is pretty rare nowadays, and of the hunt path. Her skill deals decent damage and one layer of stack heavenly sword is gained. When she has 2 layers, she enters heavenly sword state, which is her enhanced skill, and she prioritizes her action by 100%, increases her speed by 50, and increases her crit damage by 100%. This inflicts wind damage by 100% of her 180% of her attack with blue dot status, and inflicts break 200% break damage on red dot status. We will talk about that more later. Her ultimate causes wind damage on one target equal to 125% of her attack, and she gains 4 layers of unlimited slash. When you launch a follow-up attack like this, it ignores weakness and reduces toughness. Now for her talent. When she enters a battle, blue dot is applied to one enemy. If she attacks the enemy with blue dot, damage increases by 50%. Oh my god, she increases her damage so much. With enhanced skill, 2 layers unlimited slash every time she uses her enhanced skill. With 4 layers, she does a follow-up attack worth 110% of her attack. Wind with enemy blue dot. When the enemy is weakness breaking, blue dot then changes to red dot. She then gets 36% more damage break boost and crit rate and crit damage. This is actually just overall, like this always happens. Her crit rate and crit damage is 15% and 60% of her break effect. Oh my god! You can max out crit rate and crit damage to 50% and 170% extra. Her A4 trace enhances her damage of her skill and ignores defense by 10%. Her A2 trace, well, just increases her crit rate and crit damage by break effect, like we talked about in her talent. Except I think that's part of her trace. Her A6 trace, after you weakness break an enemy, break effect increases by 40%. She launches a follow-up attack. After she launches a follow-up attack, and crit damage increases by 25%. Now, for a healer that will bring my Firefly to the greatest. Lingsha is going to be better than Gallagher, and here's why. When she uses her skill, she deals fire damage to 3 enemies, and her break effect increases based on how many enemies she attacks. This also increases the rabbit's speed, and every time the rabbit takes turn, it heals all allies and gives them attack and break percent. Her ultimate deals damage to all enemies, inflicts debuffs like toughness weakness to increase the damage the enemy takes, and it increases speed of the rabbit by 100%, so then it acts immediately. When dealing damage, if no rabbit is on the field, you summon one rabbit, which has its own speed and performs a follow-up attack when it takes turn, dealing damage to all enemies, and heals all people on your team and removes 1 debuff from everybody when it takes turn. Then the rabbit disappears. The skill advances the rabbit action. The technique triggers a dimension where the enemy moves toward the active character. This could be good, maybe, if you follow it after a dimension like Jing Liu's dimension. Or if you use it, pull them in, use Firefly to fucking stomp on them. Traces that Lingsha has, right, is the old skill advances the rabbit by 100%. It converts break to attack and healing bonus. And when allies HP is lower than a certain point, it automatically triggers the rabbit. Now what I'm saying is, please don't debuff these characters. Do not do what they did to my boy Jiaoqiu. Please, 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 man. These characters look so fucking cool. And I hope you guys check out one of these characters. Now remember, you only have 85 pulls next patch, and you probably get around 80 pulls on the next patch, maybe a bit more. So you'll probably only be able to get 1, maybe 2 characters if you saved wisely. I hope you guys win your 50/50s, and I will see you guys later. Hey, hit that like button, subscribe, okay?